Well, hello there. My name is Luke James, and today we're going to take you on a tour of Chinese gardens through time. In our presentation, you will see the development of Chinese gardens and their relationship with people and culture.
Early in the Shang Dynasty and followed by the Zhou Dynasty, Chinese kings and nobility began the practice of developing forests and woods for the specific purpose of hunting. With the first garden oriented as game land on hunting areas. During the Qing and Han Dynasty, the gardens were shown like a play show, which means most parts of gardens was palace. They were places for the emperor to rest and renew and work patient for his villa. The examples are the Lingyuan Emperor Garden and Three Islands. Traditional Chinese garden architecture in the real sense further appeared in the Tang Dynasty. During this era, the construction and building architectures involved into what would include man-made halls, ports, and functions. As time went on, and the craftsmen became more accomplished, these man-made buildings were able to successfully blend in well with the beauty of the natural environment. To that, more and more poets brought art and literature into a garden and paid homage to literary and artistic sense. During the Yuan, Ming, and Qing dynasties, building structure in the gardens to create a pleasant or striking scenery. It is called gathering period during this era. The gardens collect all the advantages of formal gardens. Gardens in this period were no longer merely places for fun, but also served as the area where more formal ceremonies could take place.
Confucian ideology is the soul of Chinese traditional culture. It grew out of China's ancient religion and was known as the Way of Heaven. So, in some ancient gardens, we can see the altar in the center. Confucius believed study improved man, particularly that of the noble arts, such as mathematics, chariot driving, and archery. These became the basis for educating the good man. They fostered the traditional Chinese virtues of sensibility, self-control, and harmony between man and the universe. This equipped a man to serve the government. And also, because of etiquette, the gardens were built in particular patterns, especially those of rectangles or circles. And to highlight the control of the emperor, the gardens are always symmetrical.
The private garden of Taoism is linked to Lao Tzu, but did not develop until 200 years after his death. The Tao is the inexpensive source of being, a divine principle which underlines the natural world. This evolved into a mystical religion which turned away from the artificialities and etiquette of Confucius. The good man was seen as one whose life rested on naturalness, not wealth or status. This became associated with a more natural approach to the design of gardens. Taoism was also associated with the search after the elixir of life, helped by journeys to the Isles of the Immortals in the Eastern Sea. In other words, Taoist ideology states to be inspired by nature, worship nature, and respect nature. The gardens were intended to evoke the idyllic feeling of wandering through a natural landscape, to feel closer to the ancient way of life, and to appreciate the harmony between man and nature. And according to the traditional ideology called Feng Shui or Yin-Yang, which means geomantic amen, the lucky of fortune is always with where it contains water and mountain.
The rich Buddhist religion and culture is also expressed in Chinese gardens. Buddhism was adopted by the Chinese emperor from India, bringing a monastic tradition to China. Chinese gardens, like the rocks used to form them, were aids to meditation. Confucian geometry was joined through Buddhism and Taoism to a mystical appreciation of nature in designing Chinese gardens. Chinese gardens contain more than 200 varieties of perennials, including 50 aquatic plants, 15 varieties of bamboo, 4 annuals, 160 shrubs, and 100 varieties of trees. Clearly, there are many unique plants in these gardens, but we'll focus on the symbolism of the 3 friends of winter, or the Scotch pine, bamboo plant, and plum tree. First, the Scotch pine symbolizes longevity and the struggle of survival. Next, the bamboo plant is a Confucian symbol of the true gentleman, part of the Chinese diet, a favorite food of pandas, and used in building construction. Finally, the plum tree is revered as the symbol of rebirth after the winter and the arrival of spring. In conclusion, we'd like to thank you for joining us on our tour of China, its beautiful scenery. We really hope you enjoyed the rich symbolism behind every plant and have a new appreciation for the flora and landscape design of another culture.